Hello, Mr. Singh. Mackenzie Gray with Global. Just want to clarify your position because last week you said it would be irresponsible for you to trigger an election because there's a healthcare crisis now. On the weekend, you said that you reserve the right to withdraw judgment, and now you've doubled down again on that. Are you putting the Liberals on notice that you're going to be pulling the rug out from under them if they don't act on healthcare?
I want to be clear on this point. I think it's a good point. I'm absolutely ramping up pressure because this is serious, and the lack of action is really troubling. And so I want to make it clear that this is serious, and we are purposely making sure that that pressure is being felt and that we take this very seriously. We also take the decision of calling an election very seriously. That's not something we'll do lightly. My focus now is to fight, is to not give up fighting. My focus now is to use the power that we have to get action. My focus now is to raise awareness, to have stories like Rachel's come forward so that we can paint the picture of how dire things are and we can demand this government act. I've been asking questions in question period to demand the Prime Minister to act. Right now is the time to fight to see action happen. And that's our focus. Right now, that is our focus. That's our attention on getting this government to respond to the crisis. We reserve the right, though, if it becomes clear that the government's simply not willing to act on this, we are open to a very serious decision and looking at that down the road. But right now, our focus is on making sure we get this government to act, and we use every tool possible to ramp up the pressure on the needed action to save our healthcare system, to help kids right now that are struggling, and to support our healthcare workers.
But I'm just trying to get to the bottom of it. Tuesday last week, it was irresponsible for you to pull the rug out. Now you seem like you're changing your tact. Are you changing your position here? Yes or no, clearly on that. Is it still irresponsible to have an election right now?
Having an election is a very serious decision, and that doesn't change. Having that would be something very difficult to do. It would put the country into an election where we would not be able to get any action done. So I think that's very serious. And in the midst of a crisis, yes, of course, it's something that I take very seriously. It's not a decision I would do lightly. And it is not my focus. My focus is not on how do I find a path to triggering an election. That's not my goal. That's not my focus. That's not what I want to do. I always have the ability. Our team always has the ability to withdraw our support. That remains an option. We always have that option. It's an option we take very seriously. We don't take it lightly. And in the midst of a crisis, that would have serious repercussions. And we understand that. We reserve that right, but our focus right now is not on triggering an election. Our focus right now is to get the government to understand that we want to have the Prime Minister understand just how serious this is and that action is required. That is our focus. Our focus is on fighting. Our focus is on getting action. Our focus is on making this Prime Minister understand how serious this is and that he needs to show up. That's our focus. That's our priority. And if it comes to a point where we've exhausted all options and we've exhausted all our attempts to get some action and this government's not acting, we reserve the right to withdraw our support.